Somebody has run out on the field. Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs at the 50. He runs at the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms. Bare-chested. Somebody stop that man. Oh, they got him. Oh, they got him. They're coming from the left. Oh, they got him. Bang, bang, bang in his chest. Bang, bang.
Welcome back to Fantasy and Chill. It has been a while. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, even though y'all don't like it. I'm your quarterback, Ryan Keller. Joined as always by our man Ethan Hargrave.
What's up? Good to be back. It's been a while. A little rusty.
And producer Matt.
My name's Matt. Back home, people call me McNasty, and I hit dingers.
And I hit dinger. All right, so it has been a while. Long off season. I think we're all ready to get back to the fantasy football slate. We're tweaking for it.
It's getting close to that time. My spider senses are tingling.
It is. I'm ready.
Good. The juices are flowing. This is one of my favorite times of the year, especially when you're coming off of a championship, Ryan. You know how that feels. Right?
I know exactly how that feels.
Coming off a championship.
You know how that feels, man?
I got some special plans. Special plans for draft day. Can't wait. Can't wait. Where's the bar? Oh, give me some of that.
Where's the Bart Scott drop, Matt?
Yeah, I need some of that.
Yeah, it's the first episode. You know, I'm going to be behind a little bit. Okay.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about all the offseason moves. So we're talking about our free agent signings and all of our trades that happened. And there were quite a bit that happened this offseason. We knew there were going to be, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. So let's go ahead and just get started right on those quarterbacks. And the first guy, everybody knew he was changing teams, and that is Kirk Cousins going from the Washington Redskins to the Minnesota Vikings.
You like that?
You like that? I don't know if I have that drop, do I?
You like that?
I thought you did have that drop.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's the first episode.
Like I said, bear with us.
This was a really spicy offseason, huh?
I mean, we knew the quarterback carousel was definitely coming. We knew it, but I mean, there were a lot that changed team. I got 7 names written here that are all going to be probably starters.
Kirk Cousins going to the Vikings. Do you think that's an upgrade or a downgrade?
I mean, are we talking from a football standpoint or fantasy standpoint? Fantasy. I think it is an upgrade for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he has better weapons on the Vikings for sure.
Yeah, but they're also going to rely on that run game and their defense a little bit more.
I mean, Washington ran the ball quite a bit too.
They didn't have a run game like Minnesota's going to have.
Well, yeah.
No. But I think Dalvin Cook's also a guy who's going to hit out of the backfield a lot.
Yeah, he was so nice. Like, he was such a good, hidden gem kind of rookie-wise. Maybe not a hidden gem, but I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to do this year. But hopefully he can stay healthy because...
Right. I mean, I guess we never really saw the full healthy Vikings offense because when Case Keenum was slinging it around, he didn't really have he had Jerick McKinnon who stepped up, but he didn't have Dalvin Cook back there. But when you got weapons like Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, and Kyle Rudolph, I mean, you figure he's going to be throwing quite a bit.
Yeah, but he had a couple weapons.
Yeah, go ahead and name off the guys in Washington. They're nothing compared to those 3 guys.
But it's like everybody in the Washington camp seems to be ecstatic with the quarterback they have now versus the quarterback that they had.
Well, let's go ahead and throw it since they're connected pretty much here. So the next guy on the list is obviously Alex Smith going from the Chiefs to the Redskins. So those are 2 guys switch position. I think they were both. I mean, Alex Smith was number 2 last year, quarterback.
Yeah,
it was a 4th, I think.
Oh, he was up there. He's top 5.
He was up there. He was number 1 for most of the season. And then Kirk Cousins. What did Kirk Cousins finish? 7th or something?
He was 6th.
6th. So we're talking about 2 top 10 quarterbacks. Actually, 2 roughly around 4 to 6, 5 range. And who do you think out of those 2? Who has the better fantasy season?
This year?
This year.
I'm gonna go Alex Smith.
Really?
I really think he's gonna have a better. Yeah.
See, I'm going with Cousins there. mainly for the reasons I said, the weapons he has. Washington did upgrade also, but they just don't have those guys that Minnesota has.
Yeah, well, so I was going to bring up something when you brought up Cousins, related to his, if you're talking about just drafting perspective. So he's going around 70 to 80, which would be, if you're in a 10-team league, 7th, 8th round. Would you rather have him or Stafford, which Stafford's going 20 picks later? Or I guess you could throw in Alex Smith, which is going 140. That'd be the 14th round.
Give me
Wow.
that.
Why is he so low?
That's a value. That's a value pick right there.
So
But
he's barely even getting drafted as a backup.
Smith? Yeah. Well, because he doesn't have Kelsey, doesn't have Tyreek Hill, doesn't have Kareem Hunt. He's got Jordan Reed.
I still think
Jordan
that's
Reed, who's played 6 games the last 3 years. He's got Josh Dotson. They picked up Paul Richardson,
Crowder,
Jamison Crowder. Those names just don't really jump off the page like those Vikings do.
Yeah, I think that's why he's going a little later in drafts this year. Plus, he's like a game manager. He's not going to turn the ball over. Well, Alex Smith, we're talking about. So you got that going for you. He's going to have a solid floor, but is he really going to get you that many points?
You assume he'll still get the rushing yards.
Yeah.
he's very athletic. You don't think it looking at him, but he can get some running yards.
So
I don't know.
You still maintaining Smith over Cousins, Ethan?
I'll take Smith over Cousins for now. How about that?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
I respect that. It's not that crazy.
I think it's kind of a push, to be honest with you. But we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so we got those two out of the way. Okay, what about? So, do you think they're both still top 10 quarterbacks?
Yes.
I don't think Smith is.
Top 10, yes.
So you got to remember, guys like Deshaun Watson's coming. He wasn't a top 10 quarterback last year.
Top 2 quarterback this year.
Aaron Rodgers wasn't a top 10 quarterback last year. So there's two guys that you figure are going to jump in there.
Yeah. I just think
feel it?
I just think that they're going to be a little bit more productive than I think they both went to places that are going to suit them a little bit better.
They both help themselves, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can dig that.
I got Cousins probably around number 8, and then Alex Smith just out of the top 10, without looking crunching the numbers and everything and having my entire rankings ready to go.
And where did Dak end up last season?
Dak?
I didn't look that up.
You have to give me a second on that one.
I'm guessing Dak was number 12.
Because that's a guy that we thought was going to be top 10, didn't we? At one point?
Yeah, probably borderline.
Yeah.
He's in the conversation.
Dak was number 10.
Oh.
Okay, so he still finished top 10.
So, okay.
But once you put those other two guys in there that we mentioned, he'll drop out.
Yeah.
Assuming everything goes like we planned.
Alex Smith was number 1 at the deep ball, which I think is actually not a bad, not exactly a weakness of the Redskins. I think that they can actually stretch the field a little bit, but
yeah, we'll be
I guess they didn't
about
feel
one of his
comfortable with Cousins
deep
doing
ball
that too much.
threats. Paul Richardson, is he going to do anything?
Yeah, and we'll get to Richardson later down on the wide receivers he's written down. But next guy we're going to go to is Matt's boy, the hometown kid, Case Keenum, going from the Minnesota Vikings to the Denver Broncos. How do we feel about that?
I think that's good for DT. How about that?
Yeah.
That's what I think about that.
I'm pretty high on DT this year.
Yeah. What's his ADP right now? I did not check that out.
I wrote it down. If Fantasy Pros is correct, he is 166. So.
Oh my God.
No, not you. Did you mean Case Keenum or Demaryius Thomas?
Keenum. Oh, who you were talking about?
I'm talking about DT.
Oh, DT.
Demaryius Thomas. I was like 166.
Sorry, I was like,
Oh,
that's value
grab
right there.
that man.
Yeah, that's a hell of a steal.
I can look him up.
Yeah, I think Keenum is going to decent situation. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as it was last season. I think he's going to be a good streamer.
I mean, he's back to more. Last year, they let him take control and air it out. He'll be back to more in the game manager role now. I feel like.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
not
more.
Do too much. They got that dominant defense that they're going to rely on.
It's going to be like maybe it's going to be more like Baltimore, the Ravens when they had Trent Dilfer in there. It's like, hey man, we're going to win the game, just don't fuck it up, okay?
Or Peyton's last year when they won the Super Bowl and he didn't do anything.
Hey Peyton, we're gonna win the game for you. Don't fuck it up.
So Demaryius Thomas.
But talking about, Case Keenum in there instead of those guys they had last year, you got to figure that DT's value is going to go up. Emmanuel Sanders' value is going to go up.
Yeah.
Demaryius Thomas is 43 average draft value or average draft pick. So about the 4th round position. Why? Yeah. Couldn't think of the word.
That's not bad. I think that's actually.
That's about right.
I mean, it's gonna be better than it was last year, okay? Because last year was a dumpster fire and a half. Okay.
Last year I dumped him when I could. So.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about that shit.
Any more thoughts, or Matt? You didn't really weigh in on Keenum, your boy.
My boy. I mean, I don't think you're not going to draft him for sure. He's might be a good little spot start during the season. You know, once your quarterback goes on bye. But that's all I can really see him as.
Yeah.
I think he's somebody that you could get like later in the rounds if you're just not seeing anything that's popping out to you. Just kind of grab him, stash him.
Quarterback's so deep this year. I can't see myself picking him during a draft.
The thing about quarterbacks is there's always like Matt Ryan. Like I got him in the 16th round the year he popped off. Like just grab him just on a whim. It's like, okay, let's grab this, you know? Like you just never there's always gonna be it's like whack-a-mole. Somebody drops down and somebody pops up and you're like, oh, where'd this guy come from? Boom, you know?
I do kind of want to see how they just how the offense rolls with him first before I pick him up.
I think it's going to go a lot better than it did last
Oh, yeah. It can't be any worse than last year. Golly, Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch are awful.
Brock Osweiler. They finally cut Paxton Lynch.
Yeah, we're not talking about Brock today. Why not? He moved
Brock did not make the list, no.
There was a GoFundMe for to cut Paxton Lynch.
He got demoted to third string this week, so.
Yeah.
For Chad Kelly.
He gone.
But back to Keenum. It's like you could either draft him or why wouldn't you just take Alex Smith, like I said, in the 14th round?
If he's available.
I mean, that sounds good.
He'll be available. If you're waiting that long for a quarterback, you might as well just grab him in the 13th.
Okay, so we've done Cousins and Smith, who we think are both kind of around that top 10-ish borderline range. Case Keenum, probably not. Maybe a guy you're drafting. Maybe he's a backup streamer option. Okay, one more guy on our list that you could probably actually play is I have to make sure I pronounce this right since we came out. I learned today that you have to say it's not Tyrod, it's Tyrod Taylor with those Browns.
There's Austin Turpin.
That is him.
Yeah, the Browns. It's hard for me to trust any quarterback under Hugh
They got
Jackson.
some weapons now.
What about the Hard Knocks effect?
Man, yeah, have you watched Did you watch the first episode?
I did.
Please. Did you see? It's still a dumpster fire, dude. It's horrible.
Oh, Hugh Jackson's like the worst coach in the NFL.
Horrible coach.
But I like the weapons that they added, and I mean, Tyrod put up points last year in Buffalo.
But he wasn't hurt. I mean,
I guess the problem with this is at some point Baker is taking over.
Yeah, which he's looked okay.
He looked pretty good.
I don't mind Tyrod though.
I don't mind.
I like him as he was a great streamer for me last year. I started him probably 6 games or so before I got Drew Brees.
I think he's gonna be a respectable streamer for sure, if not more. I think you can take a hard look at it. If he stays healthy, he could do really well.
He's gonna give you.
It always seems like he gets banged up, man.
He's gonna give you some rushing yards. He doesn't really turn the ball over.
He's a black Alex Smith. There, I said it.
Whoa.
No, but
And
seriously.
with their running game or lack thereof, I think he'll be throwing it a lot. So
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't have Crow anymore, so they're not going to run the ball.
Poor Crow. Crow's flying with the
Where's
Jets.
my? We'll save it for later.
yeah, save it for when we talk about him. Any more thoughts about Tyrod? What do we? So okay, how about this? Tyrod Taylor or Case Keenum?
Tyrod.
Tyrod.
Tyrod's going undrafted as well, so you can really just choose whichever one you want. Honestly,
Yeah. I mean, really, who's top 3 quarterbacks to you right now? Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers,
Russell.
and who?
Russell Wilson
Russell Wilson.
and Tom Brady. I don't think Deshaun's in the top 3.
You don't think Deshaun's in top 3?
I'm saying just if I right now
Drafting.
if I'm drafting, who do I trust more? Those 3 guys or Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson.
I
Gonna
mean,
have an awesome
for
schedule.
6 games, he's the best player in fantasy history.
Without getting into rankings too much, would you put Deshaun, above Newton or no?
I would take Deshaun Watson over Cam Newton.
Oh yeah, all day, every day.
Just curious.
But
That's
over those other 3 guys, I don't think so.
That's not homerism either.
Deshaun Watson or Drew Brees?
I was just thinking about that.
Breeze is solid every single year.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry
he's
about it.
like,
He ain't gonna win you the league, but he ain't gonna lose it either.
but he's gonna. I really feel like Deshaun Watson.
Hey, I mean, I'm
He's
all
gonna be
for it. I
ready.
mean, obviously, we're all Texans fans. We want Deshaun to show out like he did last year, but I trust those other guys more.
I'm gonna say it right now, top 3 quarterback.
Okay.
Mark it down.
Put it on the board.
I'm putting my
Put it on
notes
the
out
board.
there. Let's go.
But everybody was in agreement. Tyrod over Case Keenum.
Yeah.
I
Who
think
we
so. Until he gets hurt.
Ethan's on the fence.
Well, unless Baker starts over him.
Oh, if Baker takes over. Okay, what about if Baker takes over? You starting Baker?
That's just flipping a coin at that point, I think. I might just take Keenum
You
at that
think
point.
he has more upside than Tyrod?
More upside? Probably.
Yeah.
Almost anytime you start a rookie in the league, you're kind of signaling to the team, hey, we're not expecting much this year.
I mean, it is the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, the
One
bar
win
is
is
set pretty
overachieving.
low. So
All they gotta do is win a game.
all they gotta do is win a game, and then the crowd will go wild. Cleveland will burn in a fucking inferno, and right where it should be. And
And everybody gets free beers because they want to
everybody gets free beers. Be like, LeBron who? Nah. Man, I really feel sorry for Cleveland. They really need a head coach. I don't know what I really think they have their offense.
He punished Antonio Callaway by making him play the entire preseason game.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
What?
That's nah, man.
All right, let's go through these last 3 guys I've written down real quick. I don't expect any of them to really jump out from a fantasy standpoint, but Sam Bradford going from the Vikings to the Cardinals, A.J. McCarron going from the Bengals to the Bills, and Teddy Bridgewater going from the Vikings to the Jets. Anything?
Pass.
Bradford.
Pass.
You're gonna get 2 games out of Bradford.
Yeah, Rosen's going to take over there pretty soon. McCarron ain't even going to start, and neither is Bridgewater because they got Josh Allen and Sam Darnold. All the rookies are taking these guys' spots.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Oh man, if Bradford could just could you if Bradford?
You remember Week 1 last year?
He looked fantastic.
I think he was our first fantasy stud in the history of fantasy until.
He might have been.
Because we did quarterbacks first, and Week 1 he had like 30-something points, man. He was unbelievable.
He went yammy, and then that was it. Enter Case Keenum.
Yep. So we can move on from the quarterbacks. Don't need to talk about
let's get out the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are weak.
What about Brandon Weeden becoming the Texans' backup?
Hey man.
Anything there?
Tom Savage?
Yeah.
Push.
Hopefully we never have to see him.
Push.
See Brandon Whedon.
Yeah, if we see
Yes,
Brandon
see
Whedon,
Brandon Whedon,
it's gonna
that
be
is.
tears
Give me
straight up.
Joe
I might start drinking again. I don't know.
Brandon Whedon's
Let's
gonna
not do
push you
that.
off the wagon.
That's gonna be the one that kills me.
Oh man, Bregman just missed a home run.
Let's not think of what. No.
Yeah, but besides baseball,
All right, what you got next?
off to the running backs.
Man, that was like a flip though. All right, running backs. First name on the running back list, the big running back free agent of the offseason. His name is Jerick McKinnon, going from the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, shit, I wasn't paying attention to HQ, and I just missed the question. Dang it. Okay, anyways. Jerick
We got more
McKinnon going
important
from the Minnesota Vikings to the San Francisco 49ers. Jerick McKinnon, what's his ADP, Matt? It's pretty high.
I have it written down as 24, which sounds about right.
I thought it was even higher than that.
I mean, he's not going to the first.
Well, no, but yeah. Okay, so 24 for Jerick McKinnon. What do you think about that?
I think it's a little high. To be honest with you, I think I think you can get better value from a better wide receiver than you can a running back. I don't know. Depends on your strategy, but I think he should be like maybe mid-third.
That is mid-third.
No,
I guess that is.
24 is mid-third.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I did the same thing earlier. Don't worry.
You know what I mean? I think it should be like
okay, so you think it should be like one round later?
Yeah, I don't think. I think the late third, early fourth, maybe, but like mid. I see people reaching for him. That's what I'm saying.
So do we remember what we saw out of that San Francisco offense the last 6 games of the season last year?
Yeah, they look good.
They were a machine.
But do you believe in McKinnon, though?
Do I believe in Kyle Shanahan is the question.
Ooh.
See, I think they're trying to force him into like a Devontae Freeman role. And it's really just coming down to, is McKinnon Devontae Freeman or not? And I don't think he is. We saw what he was in Minnesota. He couldn't beat out Matt Asiata sometimes.
He had a good year last year.
He had an okay year.
He had flashes. I think they're going to be using him sparingly. I just can't see him as a feature back.
I think he's
just a problem.
Going to be the feature back by far. Who else do they have? I mean, they just signed Alfred Morris, but you can't expect him to do much.
They got the Breida filter.
Matt Breida, yeah.
So I look, McKinnon's only, I think we saw he only had 20 plus touches 7 times. So he's not used to getting the bulk of the carries.
But I think that they're paying him like $40 million.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't matter how much you pay a guy if you're in contention.
But I'm saying,
he's not doing good,
if
they're not going to play him.
They're going to feed him the ball.
As long as he's doing good.
That's what I'm saying. But your stat was he only got 20 touches 7 times. So I'm saying he's going to get 20 touches at least every game now because they're feeding him the ball.
Yeah, he's only going to get that 20 touches if he keeps producing with those 20 touches. They're not just going to.
And I think he showed last year that when he got the touches, he produces.
Well, we'll see. He also got the touches because Minnesota has a good defense.
Yeah, last year. What did he finish as last year? Do you have that?
I can look it up.
I remember him being pretty solid.
But like, okay, would you take a flyer on Matt Breida in the 16th?
If I had Jerick McKinnon?
Not even if you clean slate, like you don't have McKinnon either.
Okay, but whoever you're drafting 16th round, you're just going to drop when you pick up your first free agent.
All right, possibly.
Unless like Jerick McKinnon goes down week 1.
I don't think I'm handcuffing McKinnon though.
Well, no.
With Breida, it's just a flyer.
No, I'm not taking a flyer on Breida because I don't believe that if McKinnon does go down, that Breida is like a feature back. So
I think McKinnon's going to be a solid flex. I think he's going to be more of a number 2 or flex than he is going to be a number 1, which I think I can see some people like going.
If someone goes receiver, then he'll be their number 1. But I don't think most people plan on him being their number 1.
Yeah, I just see people like in a PPR doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
McKinnon finished 21st in half-point PPR. So
So
that would be like a
borderline two running back
too.
flex.
Yeah. So right on the money there, Ethan.
But I think he's going to get a much heavier workload in this offense. So.
Okay, so someone that's right behind him in draft value is Christian McCaffrey. Who would you rather have?
McCaffrey.
Oh,
in half-point
man.
PPR.
Half-point PPR. I guess probably McCaffrey.
McCaffrey.
Oh, I guess McCaffrey. Wait.
The safety valve.
McCaffrey's not higher
Sorry,
than him?
McCaffrey is going 5 picks before. I didn't have it sorted by.
Oh, and Jonathan Stewart's not in Carolina anymore, and
They got
what's
CJ
his
Anderson
face is hurt.
Yeah, guys, we're talking about that. We will get there.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Okay.
We're talking about free agent moves.
All right, would you rather have Jordan Howard or McKinnon?
Jordan Howard all day, every
Yeah,
day.
he's only going 2 picks before McKinnon is.
Okay, but so it seems I'm a little bit higher on McKinnon than y'all, but we all agree that he's definitely a worthy flex play at least.
I think he could do way worse than him, but I'm not super high on him either.
Prove me wrong first.
Prove you wrong.
I'm not going to call you if you take him at 24. I'm not going to call you a fool.
Same.
I'll be able to take him at like 35 in our draft because we got some idiots drafted in ours.
Let's do that.
All right, next guy who one of y'all just mentioned, but C.J. Anderson going from the Denver Broncos to the Carolina Panthers. Had a decent. What did he finish, Matt? I'm sorry, but if you still have those rankings, can you look up C.J. Anderson? What did he finish last year?
Yeah, the problem is they don't list him by number, but he finished ahead of McKinnon in half-point PPR. He was right around.
Yeah, he had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah. He's
He
probably
just
like
had
15.
really like quiet games where he didn't do anything, and then like
He'd go off for like 30.
You go off for 30, and then you'd be like, "What the fuck? I need to play this guy. He's coming back. He looks great." And then for whatever reason, I think you can blame a lot of that on the Broncos offense, pretty much as a whole. Though,
Going back to us talking about them being just a dumpster fire last year.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for him. I mean, just automatically, you have to respect Cam. You weren't respecting Brock Osweiler and Paxton Lynch less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's just automatically going to a better offense. So I think they'll be able to use him. Now he's one of those guys that you got to ask yourself, is he going to stay healthy? Because I think health was a little bit of an issue. He gets a little nicked up, but man, I think he's a good runner. Man, he's a really good runner. I would actually, where's he going?
He's going 105.
That's it.
105.
Yeah.
So middle of the 10th round.
Man,
so I guess the question is
gotta
more
do that.
C.J. Anderson, like what his fantasy prospects are, but more how he affects Christian McCaffrey. Do you think there's an effect there at all?
I think they're going to use Christian McCaffrey more as a receiver / running back. I can see him. They're going to use him as a running back, but they're going to use. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be used a lot more than C.J. Anderson.
So does C.J. Anderson just slide completely into that Jonathan Stewart?
That's what
void?
I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I see.
So maybe every now and then he'll have a decent game, but he's not a guy you can start.
I
looked up Jonathan Stewart. He finished top 10 in carries inside the 10 and the 5-yard line. So if they get
love to run the ball in the red zone.
Yeah,
they love it.
So if he does take over that Jonathan Stewart role, that might be decent value with that pick. You're just relying on touchdowns though. If you're playing PPR,
but basically he's a better Mike Gillislee because he actually has some good running skills besides just falling over the 1-yard line. Yeah.
He actually plays besides the first game of the year and then sits on the bench.
This guy's amazing.
Yeah, he'd be good in the standard, I think. I don't know if I'm touching him in PPR though.
No, yeah, I think that's a good call. But I mean, dude, 9th round. If he's in the 9th round, I gotta take him.
Well, he'll be there.
Got to.
Yeah, he'll be there because he's been going in the 10th.
Let's go. I'll take
10th,
it.
11th. All right.
All right, next guy, Dion Lewis, going from the New England Patriots to the Tennessee Titans.
Man, I love me some Dion Lewis, man.
I was just about to say, so I went back. I told you I listened to a few of our clips from last year. I also went back and listened to our last full episode, not the award show, but the last full episode. And you had about a 10-minute Dion Lewis love fest on there. You were loving some Dion
Real.
Lewis.
Have you seen the guy play? He's amazing. He really is.
And he went off at the end of last year. I mean, he was legit.
He really is, man. Like, I love watching Dion Lewis. He's amazing. So, is he going to be good for that system? Man, you got Derrick Henry's big clodding ass in the way.
Derrick
so
Henry's
I don't
been
know.
waiting in the wings for 3 seasons, ready to go.
I mean, where were you? What's the ADP on my boy?
He's going
Dion.
62.
62?
He's going 40 picks higher than CJ Anderson.
Man.
So
he's
like
so good though.
at 62, you're starting. That's flex territory.
So
He's
62.
so talented.
He's 2 above his successor
Counterpart
in Sonny Michel.
Oh, Sonny Michel.
So I think I would take Lewis at that point. I'm not trusting a Patriots running back.
Yeah.
Especially one that's a little banged up right now.
Oh yeah, too.
I love Dion Lewis, man. Like, I know you're not supposed to fall in love with the cards, but I love Dion Lewis.
Okay, call your shot right now. At the end of the season, more points: Dion Lewis, Derrick Henry.
If they both stay healthy.
If they both stay healthy the whole year.
Damn.
I'm going
Henry.
Lewis. Oh,
I'm going Derrick Henry also.
you going
I
Henry
hate to
too?
say it, but
Half-point
if
PPR.
they both stay healthy.
The upside is there.
But man, if he goes down, he will take the starting position and hold it.
I think.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I was gonna say I think Dion Lewis is slept on, but obviously not by Ethan. He's a better runner
Super
than
high.
people give him
Super high
credit for, and he's gonna be catching most of the passes. I think Derrick Henry, I read he caught like 21% of the passes thrown to running backs for the Titans. So Henry's not gonna be catching the passes. He's gonna be Lewis, and they signed him for a 4-year deal.
So fucking
And
good.
Lewis has shown that when he's been given the reins, he's really good. So
if he wouldn't have had that one injury,
like 2 years ago.
like 2 or 3 years ago, I'm telling you, people would be talking a lot different about him because he was popping off, like he was becoming the feature back for the Patriots. The Patriots were using him properly, and he gets hurt, goes down. This guy, do I need to go over the list of pluses about this guy?
We get it. You like Dion Lewis.
Come on, player, man.
I'll give you a jersey, okay? Just shut up.
Do it.
Put that right up next to his Camara jersey.
No. It's Titan jersey. We can't do that. No.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
I'll get you a Patriots jersey. It'll be discount. All right, next guy, Carlos Hyde, going from the San Francisco 49ers to your Cleveland Browns.
He's taking
Carlos
my boy's
Hyde,
spot.
is he the starter?
Man, he's
There's a lot of names there in the mix. You got Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson. They just drafted Dick Chubb. What are we feeling there?
I feel like they got almost too much.
It's just
in
there's
Cleveland.
so many guys,
and
that
they
you
don't have
know what they're gonna do.
anybody. It's like they got filet mignon. They got all this delicious high priced foods on the counter, and they're telling a fucking 6-year-old to make a meal out of it. Like that's what I feel like the Cleveland Browns is the offense. I hope
And the
God-
6-year-old just wants a fucking Happy Meal. He don't care about all that.
Exactly. Did you? I read something a while back about how if the Cleveland Browns would have kicked the field goal every time they were inside the 20, they would have won like 3 games. Okay, think
I
about
believe
that.
it.
Now Todd Haley's coming in there. I have if Hugh Jackson lets Todd Haley do Todd Haley things, I think they'll be okay. But I don't have any
But
faith.
if you watch
whatsoever.
Hard Knocks, he already shut down Todd Haley pretty
Yeah.
hard in that first episode.
It's like this guy's won multiple, he's won the highest level, and they got Hugh Jackson sitting here saying that he's the smartest man in the fucking room. When you're not smart enough to listen to the people that you surround yourself with, what does that say about you? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't feel very good. I'm having a hard time thinking about picking my boy up, your Lord and Savior Josh Garden.
Josh Garden?
Josh
we
Garden.
knew you had to bring him up at some point.
The man
I
with
I'm surprised he lasted this long.
you know what I mean? Like I just.
So what do you think is better value?
Cleveland.
Carlos Hyde at 83 or Nick Chubb at 104?
I'll take Hyde.
I mean, Hyde's probably the better value this year.
Think so? Then you gotta worry about Duke Johnson too, though. I don't think Duke's going anywhere. I think it's just a battle between Hyde and Chubb. Duke's gonna get his same, you know.
Duke's gonna get his catches.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be third down probably.
So are we drafting any of these guys, or are we staying away from them?
At the right price, I'll take Hyde. I'll take Duke too, because if it's a PPR league, he's gonna catch some passes. So
yeah,
Chubb doesn't catch passes. I'm not worried about him stealing that third down work.
All right, Matt, get ready. But our next guy,
ready,
going from the Browns to the New York Jets, is Fantasy and Chill's boy, one of our favorites, Isaiah Crowell. The Crow.
Caw-caw! Value in this.
What do you think, Matt?
Right here.
I'll let you start it off. He's your boy.
Okay, so last year I'll give you that he might have been overdrafted, overvalued a little bit, but I think because of that he fell back in value. People are undervaluing this year, so he's going later than Carlos Hyde is. Yeah, I think his competition's less for the Jets than Hyde is for the Browns.
The Jets are going to be terrible.
The Browns didn't win a game last year.
Who's winning more games this year, the Browns or the Jets?
Damn. The Browns, I think.
I mean, 2 is like greater than 1, so who's winning those 2 games?
I think the Browns will be better, but still, it doesn't matter about who's going to be better. It's not who's in fantasy. It's who's going to get more touches and
do the Jets still have Bilal?
Yeah, are you scared of Bilal Powell though?
I'm just saying he's a body. What did Crowell do last year to make me think that he's going to do anything this year?
The same could be said about. I mean, he's going in the 10th round. Like,
yeah,
at that point, you can take a flyer on him.
I'd rather forfeit my pick.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're forfeiting your pick, then you give it to me.
I'd rather just pass.
That's my boy. I can't pass on him.
Actually, you know what? If I'm in the 10th round and I can't decide and Isaiah Crowell's there, I might just go ahead and take like Greg Zuerlein. Get him out of the way. Greg the leg.
I mean, get somebody you know is going to start, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. It's gonna sound bad, but Crowell was you finished top 30 in running backs.
So if you're starting 2 running backs and a flex as a running back every week, then he's by the hair of his chin, he's a starter.
Exactly. So in the 10th
but not
round,
really
if
when you factor in receivers, but
yeah, he's gonna be catching more balls this year. I think he doesn't have Duke Johnson on his back, so which is one of the better receiving running backs.
Okay, what about
better this year than he did last?
Would you feel comfortable week 1? What the fuck? Putting Isaiah Crowell in your flex?
Comfortable is a strong word. We're also playing PPR this year, though. If it was standard, I might feel more
playing
comfortable.
half PPR.
Half point PPR. So, which it was long overdue, by the way. Honestly, I wouldn't feel terrible putting him in my flex.
You're lying through your teeth.
I'm not. If they announce him as the starter, I'm not worried about Powell or
What does a starter in the NFL even mean anymore for running backs?
What does a flex even mean? Like, you saw how bad receivers were last year. So why not just take a flyer on Crowell? 1 week. I did it more than 1 week last year.
I'm the commissioner. I have the power to do this. I'll just go ahead and assign him to your team. You can have him. Okay. You don't even have to draft him.
Give me him in the 12th, and we're good.
Okay, I'll give him to you whenever.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so we're in agreement there. Next guy, going from the world champion Eagles to the Detroit Lions, we have LeGarrette Blount. Any fantasy impact there whatsoever?
I think he's going to be the same thing he was with the Eagles, that Vulture TD guy.
They got Theo Riddick, and they also have. We'll talk about him next week, but they have the rookie Kerryon Johnson coming in. So,
I think he's going to be used the same way he was used in New England, and the same way he was used.
Is Abdullah still there? Where did he go?
I think they just gave up on him. I can like that.
I just remembered him.
Amir Abdullah. I remember his first NFL game. He went yammy. Like, oh man, this guy's gonna this new stud in Detroit. And then after that, silence.
So Detroit's open to trading him, is what the articles say.
So Amir is out, basically.
Yeah,
they're nothing. LeGarrette Blount, anybody drafting him, or he's going undrafted?
Standard, he could be interesting. I don't know if I mean, he's not going undrafted in PPR. I think he's going 134. Just one of those late round running backs that you're just kind of hoping he does something.
Like your last pick before you have to draft your kicker and defense.
Exactly.
You play him, you're banking on a TD.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Jonathan Stewart going from that Panthers role that we talked about to backing up Saquon Barkley on the Giants.
No thanks. Not interested.
I'd rather have Blunt.
Like a real Blunt or LeGarrette Blount?
I'd rather have a LeGarrette Blount.
I'd rather have a Blunt with Blunt.
Okay. Doug Martin. Dougie Fresh.
Dougie Doug.
Got a fresh start. He's still a young guy, too, going from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to John Gruden's Oakland Raiders, backing up beast mode.
Yeah. How many chances is this guy going to get? Like, he gets drafted high like
16th
every
round.
year.
I think there's some real upside here.
14th round.
No,
because he has the talent. No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
He has the talent, but Lynch is one of the most injury-prone guys there is that's left. Or now he is in the later years of his career. He's missing some games this year. Y'all agree with that?
We predicting injuries now?
Huh?
So we predicting injuries now?
He misses games every year. Marshawn Lynch gets hurt. So when he gets hurt, Doug Martin will be the starter.
He was the starter in Tampa Bay. Look what he did.
That was just a weird thing last year.
Okay.
So he's failed to clear 3 yards per carry the past 2 seasons. That's
he was
awful.
Getting hit in the backfield every time the ball was snapped. He had 2 defenders in his face last season. Being a Dougie owner, I was checking it out. Okay, I was watching the games, Tampa Bay. All right. The guy was just getting. Yeah, it was like there was a 2:00 meeting in the backfield every time that he was back. I don't know if the line just didn't like him or what, or if the coaches were. I don't know, but it looked like something went right because when he got some space, man, when he got past the line, he actually did all right. So I think Ryan might be onto something here.
Well, you said you have to hope not that
you're
wishing for injuries.
As long as Lynch is healthy, I mean, Doug Martin ain't doing anything.
Exactly.
I think he's a good stash.
But yeah, he may be able to stash him.
I just try to grab him on waivers.
I think Gruden's going to play.
Fab.
I think Gruden's going to play producers. He wants people that are going to produce. So if he gets in there and starts producing, I don't know.
What I hear from Oakland though is everyone hates Gruden. He's just trying to run this '90s offense and just has no clue how to, I guess, progress.
Been out the game for too long.
Exactly.
Hey, what's old is new again, though. You know? We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Okay, last running back. I had to throw him in here just because he's like 50 years old. I mean, he's always solid.
Mr. 10-point?
Mr. 8 point.
He's getting a little older now. We're going to 8 now.
Frank Gore going from the Indianapolis Colts to the Miami Dolphins. Back home. Frank Gore's a Miami boy.
Man, when you said Mr. 8 points, I was thinking you were going to be talking about Lamar Miller there for a second.
No, not Lamar. Not Lamar.
No, not that Mr. 8 points.
The original.
The original.
The OG.
God. What can you say about the guy's not going to die? He's going to be 100, 150 and scoring, 8 fantasy points, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, obviously, I think you'd want to have Drake over him for sure.
Debate,
but I did read something. I don't know if it was the OC or the head coach was saying like, we're gonna go with 2 running backs because I'm an asshole. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, it was Adam
not seen
Gase.
that.
Was it? Yeah, okay.
That's the thing that scares me about. He scares me. The head coach scares me.
It's like Drake's obviously
yeah,
the better
Drake.
running back. He
Oh, yeah.
performed last year, and yet you still don't want to announce him as your starter. I don't understand
Yeah.
it.
So yay or nay on Frank Gore?
In
Eh.
in what way? I'm not drafting him, if that's what you mean.
Everybody's been saying that for the past year and a half or 2 years, and he gets drafted. Somebody drafts him.
I think I
And
had to
then they
start
end up
him one
playing him.
game last year, and he got me 1 point.
He's going 157 for ADP.
So he's getting drafted. Oh,
fantasy.
okay. So that's it for the running backs. We're going to end it with our wide receivers. And this first one, a guy I'm maybe a Hard Knocks effect, but I'm really high on Jarvis Landry this year. I like him a lot. I like it a lot. We got going from the Miami Dolphins, where he's led the league in receptions basically since he came into the league, going to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I have a lot more respect for him now after watching him on Hard Knocks. Like, this guy it seems like he just wants to win.
That speech he gave was, I mean, it made me want to get up and do something.
Yeah, well, hopefully it made the rest of the freaking team want to do something instead of taking days off from the first day of practice. Like, what the hell is that? You know,
so this receiving core has potential to be something pretty good for the Browns. You got Jarvis Landry, Josh Gordon when he gets back from whatever he's doing. David Njoku is a beast. I think a beast.
Man,
Who's
I'm
their
telling
other,
you, if
who's their other receiver? They got
Duke Johnson.
someone else. Well, I guess they'll be playing that Callaway kid. If he keeps fucking up, he has to play every game. So.
Oh, we got to talk about Dez,
If they had
too.
any other coach.
And they might have Dez by the time we do our show next week. So.
Yeah, that's a big crowd, man. That's the only thing that scares me is everything's so damn crowded, man.
So me and Matt were talking earlier, and I'm a lot higher on Jarvis Landry, I think, than he is. What did you say he was going at, Matt? 43, something like that.
Well, back when I looked at it, he was going at 57, but I think he's moving up the draft boards a little bit. I think he's around 40, 43, yeah.
I think PPR that's not too bad.
45.
PPR.
I like him a lot as your number 2 wide receiver.
Yeah.
So
I think
this is a
super
question for
solid
Ethan
number
mostly.
two.
Would you draft him before your boy, Josh Gordon?
blasphemy.
Yeah.
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Bless him. Bless him.
No.
Because Gordon's
Bless him.
going 5 picks later.
Bless him.
I think
I'll take
1,000% you take Jarvis Landry over Josh Gordon.
I think you're smoking crack.
I think he's going to get more targets, I think, for sure. It just depends on
Jarvis Landry is
the
a lot more
yardage.
dependable.
And
Thank you, Josh.
another question, would you rather have Tyrod thrown to him? Or I'm sorry, Tyrod or Baker?
To God.
I think Tyrod likes him more.
To
Okay.
God.
There was some stat that back when Tyrod was with the Bills, no Bills player exceeded 60 receptions in a season. So obviously it's a different offense, but
Yeah, is it the system or is that?
yeah, it was a Tyrod. You know,
I mean, he didn't exactly have too many people to throw it to.
That's
so.
true. He had
Who was
McCoy.
his number
about
one
it.
receiver last year
Kelvin Benjamin.
Charles Clay.
for a game?
Yeah.
And that rookie that tried to kill himself in that hotel in the offseason.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm laughing
naked
about
running
that.
through the hall and punched the window and was bleeding everywhere. He was high on something.
Yeah, I can't.
Zay
believe
Zay
it.
Jones.
Yeah, Zay Jones.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah, that crazy guy.
God dang, 47.
All right, so Jarvis Landry, I like him as your number 2 wide receiver. I think everybody's kind of in agreement there.
Yeah, he's a solid pick.
All right. Next guy, a lot of people like him this year, especially going to his new team. 2 years ago, he was a fantasy stud. We have Allen Robinson going from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Chicago Bears. Looks to be that number 1 target for Mitch Trubisky in his second year.
McCarthy's boy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Allen Robinson. Yeah, Trubisky. Yeah. You talking about a guy that's going to do a lot better than last year, even though I was high on him last year. They speak similar to the Browns. They really up their receiving core over there. I don't know how I feel about Allen Robinson though.
What's his ADP?
It's 48. Or actually, is
Allen Robinson or Jarvis Landry?
Landry all day.
Yeah, Landry. Who else are the Bears? They got Taylor Gabriel from the Falcons.
Don't they have this stuff? Cameron Meredith?
No, Meredith went somewhere else. I think he went to the Saints.
Oh.
They do have someone else though.
They drafted Anthony Miller. They still got Tariq
Cohen.
Cohen.
They have another guy. I have no idea. I can't think of it.
And
I heard reports that they're actually using Cohen as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like they should have been the whole time.
He was their best receiver last year, which is pretty terrible when you think of it.
He wasn't on the field half the time like he should have been. They had all these bums that should have been.
Oh, they were terrible.
Waxing a bowling alley, bowling lane somewhere.
They had to have the most drops out of any wide receivers last year. They were so bad.
And you got Tariq Cohen on the bench for 75% of the game. Get out of here.
Allen Robinson, do we feel good about him as a number 2, or we like him more as a flex?
Low 2 flex.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I wouldn't feel terrible if he was my number 2, but like you said, I'd much rather have.
You got to figure if he's your number 2, you've already got your 2 running backs locked up and your number 1 receiver. So
yeah,
hopefully you went running back if that's the case. And
I wouldn't lose any sleep over it.
They did get rid of John Fox, so that's good.
Yeah, it's exciting to see actually. Maybe they'll be somewhat decent, but Allen Robinson.
They are a surprise pick for many people this year.
Surprise pick.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. A lot of people like him.
Smoking crack.
A lot of people are high on all of Bears' offense. I don't know if I am so much, but
another guy who probably didn't play up to what people were expecting last year, but we have Brandon Cooks, who went from the Patriots to the high-powered LA Rams.
Like it.
Like it or love it? Like
it a lot. I like it a lot. I'm not super, super high on it, but I'm pretty high on it. I like it. Where's old Cooks going?
So you think Jared Goff is airing it out to him?
I think that they're gonna find ways to get him the ball. Yeah.
He's a weapon.
Cooks was going right around the Allen Robinson territory.
Give me a break. Give me
Allen Robinson going 46.
Okay, so do we all like Cooks better than Robinson?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Robinson has less competition.
Yeah.
Cooks still has Woods
Cooks
and
on the better team.
He's on a team that's gonna have a lot better offense, and they're not afraid to run it up on anybody.
Yeah. You also got Gurley though that you got to worry about stealing all the points too.
Okay, Ethan, I think you're pretty high on Cooks. Cooks or Landry?
Ooh, I think that's a push.
I think I'm taking Landry, but I like Cooks too.
I go Landry as well.
I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those guys.
So we like Cooks also as a number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
I think that's super solid.
I'd have him, between Landry and Robinson.
Super solid.
Okay, these next guys we're going to get into, probably not guys that you're going to be starting, but they'll definitely get drafted. Maybe some flex plays here and there, but first guy is Sammy Watkins, going from the LA Rams to the Kansas City Chiefs.
With Mahomes throwing to him? Hard pass.
See, if we had Britt on right now, Britt would be telling us he's your number 2 receiver, so Britt's is a big Sammy guy.
Watkins is going 77.
77.
I would agree with Britt if he said that. I wouldn't mind him as my number 2 wide receiver, honestly.
Oh God, if I had
What?
him as my number 2 wide receiver, I'd just fucking hand over the money. Like I ain't winning.
Take the money. Just take it.
He was so bad last year. He had what in the first 4 weeks? I think he had 2 good weeks, and I tried like hell to trade him. I mean, I was offering him to everybody. No,
I mean,
Straight
he's got some
ghosting.
speed, and you know Mahomes can throw the ball.
but I'm saying he was on the. I don't know if they were the best, but a top 5 offense in the league last year, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah, but they had. I mean, I don't know if he ever got that chemistry down with Goff. Plus, they had Cup still. He wasn't there at the beginning of the season either. He's been here the entire offseason with Mahomes. He's only got to worry about Tyreek Hill, which is going to spread the ball even. Like Tyreek Hill's going to take the top off the defense.
And Travis Kelce
Oh, Kelsey too.
and Kareem Hunt.
I'm not so much worried about Kareem Hunt. I think
That's-
Kareem Hunt's
they
taking a
have,
step
like,
back this year.
Equal weapons, kind of to the Rams on offense. Not the same quarterback, but weapons wise.
I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if Watkins gets top 20 wide receiver this year.
I will be surprised.
I
Alright.
will bet you a steak dinner.
You already owe us Whataburger, so.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
We'll forget about that. Clean slate this year.
I won't forget about it.
Well,
Okay, next guy. Paul Richardson went from the Seattle Seahawks, and now he is the Redskins' deep threat. Alex Smith throwing it to him.
New Tyreek Hill? Question mark.
I don't know.
I mean,
that's man.
that's it.
Too many question marks. Too many question marks. I don't
Is he worth a stash?
He's getting drafted 183 right now. So if
Oh, so he's not even getting drafted.
he's not even drafted at this
In
point.
16 round leagues.
But I'd say he's worth a stash. If he does turn into like a poor man's Tyreek Hill, then you got a hell of value right there. I mean, in those late rounds, honestly, you're just going for upside. You're
Yeah.
not going for like safe floor and round 15. You're not like, oh, let me go draft this safe guy. No, you're going for a guy that's just gonna get you. Gonna be one of those guys that you get off the waiver wire that's gonna win you your league. So worth a
What
stash.
about Alan Hearns goes from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Dallas Cowboys' number 1 wide receiver.
If it's a number 1, getting drafted in the 129, you're taking him. A number
Yeah, I
one's
mean-
a number 1.
I just don't know if you'd ever play him.
Yeah, well, that's the question marks in the later rounds, anyways, isn't
Who
it?
else is Dak gonna throw to, man?
He loves him
got-
some Cole
You got Terrence Williams too,
and Terrence Williams.
which they haven't done anything.
Zeke's getting 40 carries a game, so
Yeah, they're gonna have to ride that horse, or they ain't gonna get nowhere.
Honestly, if I can find him in the 13th, 14th round, right before I'm about to draft my
yeah,
defense,
kind of
my
going
kicker,
back to that pick before you get your defense and kicker, then
yeah, I'm taking him. You get a number 1 wide receiver in the 14th round, you take a chance on him.
yeah, I can see that.
But anyone listening, don't take that from me if we're in the same league.
Okay, this next one, interesting name here. A recent former first round pick by someone on this podcast. We have Jordy Nelson going from the Green Bay Packers to the Oakland Raiders. Jordy Nelson. What are we even expecting?
Take the
Do we
mic,
even have
Ethan.
any idea?
This is your boy, right?
Yeah, Ethan, take it over. What you got?
Heartache and disappointment.
He's going
Nah.
number 90 overall right now.
Really?
Yeah, so pretty
I mean,
late,
I
I would say.
If he's there in the 8th or 9th, I mean that's. I would take him.
So you have to figure that Amari Cooper can't be worse than he was last year, right?
Right.
But is Jordy Nelson going to be the Michael Crabtree red zone threat now, but a better version?
I think he's too good to pass up if he's there in the 8th round.
Can he
because
stay
they-
healthy?
I don't think the Raiders are going
Yes.
to be as bad as they were last year either,
No,
as a whole.
it wasn't really him being healthy. It was more like
Actually, he was healthy most of the year, wasn't he?
what kind of quarterback did he have?
Yeah.
He had Brett Hundley throwing to him.
Yeah. So yeah, he hit a career worse 9.1 yards per catch last year, which I
Yeah.
think was the Hundley effect.
Major League Hundley effect. I mean,
John Gruden loves him some wide receivers, so
I would take him in like the 10th round if I got him, for sure.
I think you could. Yeah,
he's one of those guys you take a chance on because he could still become that guy you start every week.
Exactly.
I think he's just gonna slide into Crabtree's role. That's what I think. I think
best-
he's a good.
His ceiling is a wide receiver or two right now. Which, if you can get that in the 10th round, you're taking it.
Good flex / wide receiver too.
All right, these last 4 guys I have written down. Not really much of a fantasy impact, but we can talk about them a little bit because they're big names. But we have guy we just talked about, Jordan Nelson replacing Michael Crabtree, going from the Raiders to the Baltimore Ravens. Danny Amendola going from the Patriots to the Dolphins. Mike Wallace, always showing up. He was on our waiver wire every week last year. Going from the Ravens to the Eagles. And then the ageless Brandon Marshall going from the Giants to the Seahawks.
I think the only one worth talking about there is Crabtree. He's going to be the number 1 for the Ravens. He's actually going ahead of Jordy Nelson by like 20 spots in the draft.
Really?
Yeah. So, we should have talked to him before.
The name that jumps out to me, he's been terrible the last couple of years.
Right.
Not Amendola. And Amendola was pretty good last year. Brandon Marshall. He's going to Seattle. Seattle just lost. They lost Paul Richardson. But the big thing they lost was Jimmy Graham, who was their red zone target. Brandon Marshall, his whole career, been a big red zone target. He's a possession guy. Russell Wilson's going to want somebody he can trust down there to catch the balls. I think Brandon Marshall could fill that role if he stays healthy.
Yeah, you make a good point, honestly. I didn't think about that with Jimmy Graham going away. He's 34 years old. Like, at some point, he's just going to have to call it quits.
I think if we're just talking, though, the late round upside, a guy you could stash and actually turn into something, I think Brandon Marshall could be something. He could also be fucking awful.
Yeah,
that's
true.
probably more. It's probably more likely. But I'm saying he could take over that Jimmy Graham kind of role.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, right now, if you're drafting in a league where you go 29 rounds, then yeah, you might take him. So.
Well, he's going 290th.
289.
So this is a guy after about 5 weeks. Once he's shown that he's catching some passes, you might pick up off that waiver wire.
Yeah, but like he said, like in the 14th round, you don't go by ADP. It's guys you're just willing to take a risk on. It doesn't matter what they are ranked, what their projections are,
because odds are you're dropping the guy the next week anyways.
Exactly. So if you believe in Brandon Marshall, then take him in those late rounds.
I haven't even done research. Has he even been like doing good in camp? Are they even going to keep him?
I think he's struggling for the 3rd wide receiver. Yeah, he's fighting for the 3rd wide receiver position. Behind obviously Baldwin and Lockett.
Oof.
I don't know who he's fighting with, but yeah, I think Baldwin is injured.
This article from 12 hours ago says status check on Brandon Marshall's comeback try. Seahawks are very excited and very encouraged.
Oh, so he might see the field once a game. Who knows?
Do you think Pete will give him the full load?
Just give him that full load. I think if there's anyone you want as your coach to give you a chance, it's Pete Carroll. So I wouldn't mind him as a stash.
What about, you like him better than Amendola or Mike Wallace?
I like him better than Wallace.
I can't believe Wallace is going that high.
Man,
I
well,
didn't even write him down.
Your boy Jeffries is gonna be out. He's gonna start the year on the pup list.
My boy right there. My boy.
Good boy.
You know what? I forgot to talk about Alshon Jeffrey. I actually forgot to shout out Derek Dartez, Dr. Dartez, DJ Dr. Dartez for making us that new intro for the new season. Thanks, Derek. We appreciate it.
Thanks for putting him on the waiver wire.
We won't get
Thanks for Alshon Jeffrey again for the 1,000th time.
Competitive league.
Thanks for the intro.
Yeah. Back to Mike. Mike Wallace is only going 10 picks ahead of Brandon Marshall.
You okay, Ethan?
I'm sorry. I'm still. Okay. All right. We're good.
What were you saying, Matt, about fantasy football?
Back to fantasy football. I said Mike Wallace is only going 10 picks higher. Well, I say 10 picks. He's going 280 compared to.
I thought you said he was. Oh, never. I'm an idiot. It was Michael Crabtree. You said was going ahead of Jordy Nelson. That's why I was like, "Who the fuck is taking Mike Wallace in the 8th round?"
Come on. I mean, there might be some people out there. They see the name. They're like, "Oh, if we're playing, 7 years ago, I'd take Mike Wallace." But no, he's not getting drafted either. So you don't have to worry about him.
Okay. Anybody else I can think of, any position that made a free agent trade move this offseason that we haven't talked about? I didn't write down any tight ends. Were there any tight ends that really? Oh, Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham, yeah. That's the only one worth talking about, I think.
Went to the Pack.
Jimmy Graham went to the Packers. And probably have a good year being Aaron Rodgers' favorite target.
There's much. Aaron Rodgers is real high on him.
Yeah, but Packers never throw to. I mean, Rodgers never throws to the tight end that much. When was the last good tight end?
He had your Michael Finley.
Yeah, what is that? 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have they had a tight end like Jimmy Graham? Because I think Jimmy Graham still got it.
And Jared Cook. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mention it.
Martellus Bennett.
Yeah, how did he do?
Got rid of Richard Rodgers.
Yeah. But
do any of those names belong in the same sentence as Jimmy Graham? Yes or no?
I could. I mean, I don't know. It'd be tough. I'd have to think about it a little more. He's going number 52 right now. I don't know. At that point, I might just wait even longer just to draft a tight end.
There's clearly a top 3 tight ends, and he's not in them.
Exactly. So
no,
you could take a chance on him.
But I think he's in a very small tier 2 when it comes to tight ends.
In tier 2 last year was just everyone else, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Unless your name was Gronk or Travis Kelce or Zach Ertz, you were tier 2.
You got those 3 tight ends, and then I think you got Jimmy Graham and
Evan Ingram.
Maybe one other guy, and that's it. And then the rest of them's like maybe Joku, maybe, but
what about Tyler Eifert? Going in round 15.
Isn't he still dead?
He's always dead. Yeah. But that chance that he comes back alive, like Jordan Reed.
Oh, dude. No, I don't know, man. No.
All right, so I think we kind of went through everybody. Got a good feel for your all your guys changing teams. A few heavy hitters still out there that are changing teams, so pick those guys up. Now, what we're going to do until season starts in about 3 weeks or so. So these weeks leading up to it next week, tune in because we're going to do the same thing but go over all of our rookies. And I did some research for the past 5 years when it comes to rookie fantasy football players. So
exciting.
Make sure you tune in for that. Get excited.
That's a cliffhanger right there.
And it'll blow your socks off what I found out.
Oh, on that note.
I wasn't done yet.
This guy.
Hey, producer guy.
What do you got to say?
I wasn't done.
There you go.
Did that sound like I was done?
Yeah.
My gosh. Okay, so we're doing the rookies next week. And then the next week, which is the last week before Labor Day, which Labor Day weekend is kind of the national holiday for drafting your fantasy team, right? Everybody wants to wait till that last weekend after the last preseason game. So that week leading up to it, we're going to do our Fantasy and Chill Ranking Summit. So what that's going to look like is I'm going to
Ooh.
fill out my position rankings. Ethan's going to fill out his position rankings. Matt's going to fill out his position rankings. Maybe if we can get Britt off WoW, Britt's going to fill out his position rankings.
Wow's
We're going to come together as a cumulative unit, talk about our rankings, average them out, and come up with one formal Fantasy and Chill ranking. And that's something you can use in your draft that weekend. Because Fantasy and Chill is the only podcast that had 2 champions in it last year. That's a fact.
That's a fact,
Ooh.
Jack.
That's proven. I looked it up. I checked.
This is true.
The only, and we had a 4th place guy.
Should have been second at least.
You
Yeah,
should have
it was
been
the second best team. Second best team. He finished 4th place. So on that note, make sure you come back the next 2 weeks. We got rookies and rankings, getting us ready for that draft, and then before we know it, football will be here. So on that note, now producer, now you can hit us with that outro.
Oh, I'm allowed to now?
Yeah, you can go. We out.
Nut butt.